Oh man, we just got hit with some very huge news, everyone. This is big. This could be potentially the biggest news I have ever covered on the PlayStation Vita here on this channel. At least when it comes to limited run. Or it might be, well, let's get into that. Greetings fellow Vita fans, this is James with PS Vita at 2 AM, and once again I'm coming at you with another exciting video. As the title portrays, yes guys, it is in fact true, we may have just gotten a leak from Limited Run Games showcasing their final PlayStation Vita release. You heard me correct, their final PlayStation Vita release. Oh man, oh boy, I can feel my temperature rising again. Now before I get into that, I do have to mention one thing right off the bat, something that I have failed to mention on this channel thus far. LRG, or Limited Run Games for those of you aficionados, yeah, that was my desperate attempt at trying to be fancy, has stated in the past that their final PlayStation Vita release is in fact going to be a free game. Now you might be looking at me now and saying, what? James, you be tripping, bro. They ain't gonna be giving us no free game as their final release. And you'd be correct about the crazy part, but they are in fact planning to do a free game as their last release. Yes, you also heard me right on that. It's going to be a free game. However, there is a little bit of a caveat to that. It's not all rainbows and sunshine and flowers and whatnot. Yeah, I'm pretty good with metaphors. You see, the only way anyone is going to be able to get their hands on this supposedly free game is, in fact, if they have a complete PlayStation Vita collection from Limited Run Games. I have heard that they might be lenient if you're missing like maybe 1 or 2 games, but the only way you're going to be able to acquire this final copy is if you have in fact bought all of their PlayStation Vita releases up to that point. And when I say up to that point, I mean all of them, because, you know, it'll be their last release afterwards. Doesn't matter how you obtain them, you can obtain them from Limited Run Games themselves, or even a scalper if you missed out on them. So long as you have them, though, you qualify to get this final free game. Now, with all that out of the way, we happen to get some really exciting news this past Thursday. And the circumstances of us getting this info is kind of bizarre. You'll see in a moment. Limited Run Games threw this party at GDC, I think it was, just recently, and some dude by the name of Chris Cooper happened to be inside the restroom when he literally found this PlayStation Vita game just right there in the bathroom. Normally at this point I'd ask where he found it in the bathroom, but maybe we'd be better off without that information. As you can see from these pics, he snapped right here. Now the Vita community exploded with buzz over this picture. Could this be the final Limited Run Games release? There is significant evidence to show that this could in fact be their final game. First off, this game is being developed in-house. In fact, this version might even have been specifically made for Limited Run Games themselves. If, you know, that makes any sense. Which, now saying it back to myself, it kinda doesn't. But you get the idea. And when you really stop and think about it, that makes all the sense in the world, because you gotta think about it from Limited Run Games' perspective. Imagine approaching a video game developer and saying, hey, what's up? We're Limited Run Games and we want to release a physical title of your game. Oh, and by the way, it's going to be free, so you're not going to be earning any profit from it. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense from the developer standpoint. I mean, what game dev out there would agree to such a thing? Probably not many, as in most likely no one. Of course, Limited Run Games could maybe wheel and deal with them some way for them to get a profit, but it seems likely that it would be best to cut out as much of the middleman as you possibly could. And you know, it just dawned on me. I haven't mentioned one thing about this game. I mean, like, you know, the actual Vita game itself. Shame on me, I say. Dude, just shame. Everyone, I introduce to you Revenge of the Bird King. This title, as you've been seeing play throughout the majority of this video, plays sort of like a Mega Man-esque sort of title, or release, or you get the idea. In fact, I absolutely adore the info on this. Here is the description for this game, and it's very short, even though I wish it was way longer just because of how epic it is. 50% bird, 50% man, 100% ridiculous. I mean, right there with the title alone, you got me hooked. It's like, I gotta play this game now, how can I not? Oh yeah, I forgot, I actually don't have $5. Plant seeds, grow guns, be the Birdman you always wished you could be. A group of intergalactic superheroes has come to your world, bringing with them a tale of mystery and complete nonsense. Ooh, you just scored another level with me now, game. Explore, level up, find secret treasures, and challenge yourself to some good old classic jump and shoot action in this retro-inspired action platformer RPG light. This game is currently out now on the PlayStation Store for I believe like $5 or so. However, I did hear that it had a few glitches in the fact that whenever you went into a shop to try and buy inventory, as soon as you left said shop, your inventory would go back down to 0. And I'm not 100% sure if that was ever patched out, but I figured I'd just let you guys know about that, for those who maybe are a little bit more interested in the digital version of this. So this announcement, if you can even call it an announcement, kind of got mixed results. Some people in the Vita community were really super hyped and excited that we finally got to see what the free game will be, and others thought, this is gonna be the free game, we expected something bigger than that. Something more grand, you might say. But hey, it's a free game, and free is free, I guess, right? And I'll admit, my wallet really loves the sound of that sentence. Now at this point, I think we're all like, alright, cool, we're getting a free game. What's not to love? Everything seems pretty hunky-dory, right? Well, I really hate to say this, guys, but I am also led to believe, even despite all the evidence that we have seen so far, that maybe this might not be real. In fact, I'll just plain out say it, I'm suspecting that this is an April Fool's Day joke. And you're most likely wondering what made me come to that conclusion. Well, it's just the timing of it all. For one thing, this game, from what we've been hearing, seems to have been intentionally left inside the restroom, knowing that somebody would probably see it and snap a photo, and hopefully it would go viral, at least as viral as the Vita community could be. So that's strike one. Strike two, look at the time it's actually being discovered. Late March. What's just around the corner? April Fools. So that's strike two. Plus, if you actually look at the back of the box, I'm going to just read it to you and see what you guys think here. Let's be honest, you're not going to open this. It's Revenge of the Bird King, the prize at the end of your limited run game's complete set. Hold this game aloft and let it whisper its grace as a blessing upon your home. Whoa, this one's for the birds, Josh Fairhurst. Time to leave the nest. This game is excellent, Douglas Bogart. And yes, I do know that this game is really not meant to take itself seriously, and even the description kind of alluded to that, but I don't know, just the way they're wording it here, it seems like it's going a little bit too over the top for comfort. So that's strike three. And believe it or not, guys, I actually have a strike four. And this right here is the biggest piece of evidence to why I think this might not be real. Way back in October 8th, 2018, Josh Fairhurst himself wrote this. I am so happy about our April Fool's prank. Everything is ready 6 months in advance so I can start getting the dominoes in place now. No one is going to even register this as a prank until it is too late. This is going to be very enjoyable to watch. Josh Fairhurst at GDC. That right there, guys, is leading me to believe that this is probably most likely a joke, a hoax. Not real, depending on the way you want to word it. Now again, I have no evidence one way or another whether or not this is legit or not, but based on all of the evidence I'm seeing, I'm leaning more towards the fact that this is an April Fool's Day prank. And trust me everyone, this is not me trying to be a negative person here. I'm just trying to be truthful with you all. And that being said, I'll be 100% honest with you here. If this did in fact end up being the final game, I don't think I'd really have a problem with it because I like Mega Man and this one looks solid enough. Now I'd be lying if I said this would be my personal choice for the last game, but you know, if we did have to get one, I think we can all agree that we certainly have seen worse games released by limited run. Just saying. Of course, in the opposite direction of that argument, if this did in fact end up being false, which now that I think about it might actually end up being a good thing because I know that there were a lot of people thinking that this title wasn't really worthy of being their final release. So in hindsight, if this does end up being debunked, then what will their final release be? Maybe it'll be a bigger title like people have been wanting. Just a thought anyway. And if anybody does have any additional information out there that I didn't mention in this video, then please let me know down below. But I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this is real? Do you think that this is fake? Are you hoping that this is our final game? Would you rather have a different game? Let me know, everyone. I'd love to hear your take on this. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. The following video has been brought to you in part by Adam Theory, Saul Ramirez, Heston Joseph, and all these wonderfully generous people over at Patreon. I have a number of exclusive perks available for backers, so if you're interested in supporting the channel, check all those links down there. And unlike the contents of this video, it's 100% real. Yep, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That sounded more funny on paper for some weird reason.